want to say Happy New Year to the Korean community all over the country, all over the world, especially as we have Korean American Day coming upon us as well. I hope this is a great 2024 for you and your family, and I wish you all the best of health and luck and prosperity going forward. I know it's on everyone's mind, that we're in this situation for a presidential election. And I think people feel a lot of anxiety right now. There's so much challenge that we face as a nation. We see global conflicts out there. We have domestic turmoil. We have a lot of questions about what the future of our economy is going to look like. And it feels like we don't have the kind of response from the government. For instance, I work in Congress. It doesn't feel like we have the right kind of response in Congress to be able to address these types of challenges. The divisions and the bickering and the arguing in Congress, the challenges that I face with a new speaker of the House that I think is making a lot of bad decisions. This will be a difficult one. So I hope that voters pay attention. I hope they recognize the challenges that are out there. No party can fix all these problems just on their own. Even the president, he's the president of the United States, but he's not able to fix all these problems that he wants to just on his own. So I want to make sure we have the kind of partners in the Senate and in the House to be able to help move our country in a better direction. Which is also why I decided to step up to run for the United States Senate, is to make sure we have the kind of leadership needed to be able to fix these problems in our country right now. I hear from older voters too, and what I try to express, I've actually been saying this line a lot lately, where I say I believe that the opposite of democracy is apathy, and we have to be very careful not to become apathetic or feel helpless about this. I understand that there are real challenges, and I understand, I wish, we've been able to get more done in Congress than we have, but we have been able to get some important things done, to be able to address and fight climate change. We had the largest investment in fighting climate change in our nation's history. Do I wish we did more? Of course I do, and I will continue to fight for that. We're trying to address lowering healthcare costs and other challenges, and we were able to make some progress on that to be able to help a lot of folks, but it's not at the level that we need to. And sure, there are a lot of broken things in our politics, but it's not going to fix itself. And in fact, the current trajectory of our country is, unfortunately, in my opinion, is heading in a direction that could be even worse going forward. So I'm a father of a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, and I think about what kind of America are they going to grow up in, and I'm worried about that. So for younger voters, I say, look, we need to lean in. I get it that it's challenging that's out there, and it feels like sometimes things aren't getting better no matter who's in office, but I really do think that it's important for us to recognize that the only way that we're going to get things moving in a better direction is having the kind of leadership that is needed, and to be able to move away from some of these extremists and these others that are really trying to put their own personal benefit and their own ambitions ahead of what's right for the country. And I hope that voters stay engaged and fight for it, because if not, what's happening is that other people will then make decisions for us if we're not voting. And I really want to be somebody that's at least trying to do my part to be able to try to control what direction this country goes. Well, look, what we want to do is try to be able to have the long-term durable peace that we've been fighting for and wanting for such a long time. We've talked about this two-state solution objective and this goal for a long time, but it feels like we're so far away from it. So I understand it feels like it's unattainable sometimes, but I feel like the magnitude of this crisis demands and compels the kind of effort that is needed to try to bring that to bear, try to see what we can do to get the kind of diplomatic efforts needed to be able to have those types of talks and try to bring around that kind of effort. But it'll be difficult. But I think that that's really what's needed. We don't want to have a situation where we just see some temporary pause in fighting just for a short amount of time. Yes, we need to surge humanitarian resources and address this crisis. Yes, we want to fight back against the terror groups that are continuing to foment violence in the area. But we need to come up with a longer term solution to this. And I'm somebody that worked in diplomacy. I was a diplomat before my time in Congress. I worked in national security. I understand that it's difficult. I have my eyes wide open of how challenging that will be. But I also just feel like the size of this conflict is so significant. The amount of damage and the amount of healing that needs to happen is so massive that it's critical that we take the steps and that the U.S. plays a unbelievably important role in trying to bring about that diplomacy needed for that long-term peace to try to come about. So that's what I would like to see being done. It can't be solved just through military action. There needs to be diplomacy. Well, look, first of all, I'm really excited to run for Senate. I think I'm actually the first Korean American ever to run for Senate, and if elected, I'd be the first Korean American senator. I would be the first Asian American elected to the U.S. Senate from the entire East Coast of America. So this is a very historic moment in many different ways. And I think that not only am I running for Senate, but I'm currently 23 points up in the polls to win this seat. So I'm in a strong position. The race is going to get more competitive. I'm up against some very strong challengers, most particularly the First Lady of New Jersey, the governor's wife, has a lot of connections. A lot of strength in that kind of political space. But I have a lot of things that people are looking for. I'm a 3-term member of Congress. I've won 3 races, tough races. I've shown that I can win elections. I've been a member of Congress for over 5 years now. I have the legislative experience. And prior to that, I worked in foreign policy. So I'm somebody that's immersed in that at a time when we have all these global crises. So we've been getting a great response. I've been excited to go all over the state and see how many people are paying attention and fired up. And I hope to be able to pull this off. But you're right. It requires raising a lot of money. And I'm hoping that people all over the country recognize how important this race is. And hopefully they'll be able to help support me and make sure that we engage. So, I always tell folks, if you want to learn more, you can go to andykim.com and learn more and help out if you're able to. So you're right. So, I've raised now, it was only in 3 months and 1 week that I've raised $2.75 million. So that's an incredible amount in a short amount of time. On top of that, I raised even before that over $1 million this year prior to my Senate campaign launch. So, we've raised nearly $4 million just in 2023, but we're going to need a lot more of that going forward to be able to run a race across the entirety of the state of New Jersey. We're talking about the New York and Philadelphia media markets. So these are very expensive places to be able to communicate. My main challenger, as mentioned, she raised a little over $3 million, so raised more than I did, but we're still roughly, in the same space. I mean, I expected her to be able to raise a lot. Their family is very independently wealthy on their own, and also, her husband is the sitting governor. They have their own networks from raising millions of dollars for his governor campaigns. So, what I hope is that we can, keep up and make sure that we can raise the resources that we need to be able to get the message out. And that's really what it is. The polling is showing that I'm 23 points up, but as people learn more about me and learn more about this race, that lead actually grows. So the more that we can communicate, the more money we have to be able to get the message out there, the stronger of a candidate I will be. And that's something that, again, I could use the help from a lot of people if they see the importance of this race in the way that I do. And a lot of great union support and other groups are going to be announcing on the way, so more to come. But as we've talked to them, again, they resonate with my experience, that they know what I've done, that I've worked with them on legislation, and they know how I vote, and they know how I vote in tough areas. I'm a Democrat that represents a district that Trump won. There are not many of us Democrats that can win over tough areas like that. So the fact that I can do that, but also be able to vote in the way that I believe is consistent with my values, they can see I'm somebody I'm not putting my own personal benefit ahead of doing the right thing. I'm not putting my career over, over the kind of votes that they want me to take. So I think that helps for them to see that I'm somebody that has that kind of experience. They also, again, I find that a lot of people, it resonates with the work that I've been trying to do to try to address fairness and inequality in our economy. I want to and continue to fight for the kind of actions in our country that can benefit everybody, that can benefit and make sure that working families, these are not families that have millions or billions of dollars in their bank account. These are families that are trying to live a good life, people that want some dignity and decency, and they're
Mm.
hardworking too. And I come from an immigrant family. My parents were the ones that came here, and they worked hard to try to get the opportunities that they need. And I want to reward hard work in this country. I want us to be a country that takes that hard work and gives people something that they can
Mm.
deserve, something that they can have. That's what we're asking for. So I think that's why a lot of unions that represent a lot of working families are excited about me. I'm a son of immigrants. I'm
Mm.
married to an immigrant. I'm a public school kid that worked my way up. I worked my way up from the bottom in government, and now find myself as a United States congressman that's potentially going to become a United States senator. I think they like that work ethic, and they want to see that succeed. So I'm excited that they're excited. I'm excited that they're paying attention and they see how important this can be. This is such a big moment for the Korean American community, and it's a moment to be able to step up and show that we can be leaders, not just amongst Korean Americans, not just amongst Asian Americans, but we can be leaders across our country and have that chance to represent. If that's exciting to people, again, I ask that they go to andykim.com, learn more, and if they're able to chip in and support and help us build up the resources, that'd be a big help. That's the number one thing. On top of that, in New Jersey, we have one of the largest Korean American communities in the
Mm.
nation. Especially up north in Bergen County and elsewhere. Those are the types of places where I hope the Korean American community around the country can kind of focus in and get the message out. Show the urgency and importance of not just Korean Americans, but Asian Americans more broadly too, to recognize that this is a moment for us to step up and
Right.
say, we deserve a voice in the United States Senate. We deserve a chance to be able to engage in that kind of way. And if elected, I'd be only 42 years old at the time of my swearing in, which means if
Mm.
all goes well, I could potentially be a national leader for a long time to come, and I can help really lift up the voice and the issues facing the Korean American community, the Asian American community, and the people of New Jersey for hopefully many years to come. And so I hope people see the tangible benefit. This isn't about me. This is about the place of the Korean American community in America and our ability to have the voice that I think many of us know that we need. Look, I mean, we're definitely going to be making some travel out west, out to California, and as soon as we have things to announce, we'll encourage people to try to come again. If they sign up at andykim.com, they can get those updates and be able to engage as we do. But look, the main fight and the main effort is going to be, here in New Jersey. We're going to be doing a lot of trips out to, New
Mm.
York and DC as well. So to whatever extent people want to join up, but the main thing is June 4th. You're right. That's the biggest part of this election. If I win on June 4th, I can guarantee that I can win in this coming November. I've
Mm.
been such a strong general election candidate. I'm a Democrat that wins districts that Trump wins. House of
Okay.
Representatives, I can win across New Jersey. The
Mm.
main fight is, I need to get over the hurdle on June 4th. And as mentioned, I'm in the lead. So I'm in a strong
Mm.
place, but I have some really strong competitors that have a lot of money and have a lot of connections and influence. So I need to be able to weather that. So those are the types of things that, I hope people are paying attention to. This is, June 4th. It's less than 5 months away. So, if people want to help out, I just encourage them to do so on the Sooner side. If people want to come on out, if they live in the area, they can come and knock doors. We need a lot of, Korean Americans and others going out and engaging face to face with the Korean community here in New Jersey, making sure that they're registered to vote, making sure they understand that's important. Making phone calls or text messages. People can do that from all over the country. And again, on our website is a place where they can sign up if they want to participate in that. And to be able to have people reach on out to whether to the Korean community or others, that's going to be something that I think can really make a big difference in our campaign. So however people want to get engaged, we certainly welcome it. No, you're right. I got a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, a first grader and a third grader, 2 little boys. They were babies when I first started to run for office. So they've seen a lot. They've seen a lot of campaigning. I can't say I don't think they can fully understand what I'm doing right now in terms of the Senate.
Mm.
They have come to the Capitol with me. They know I'm doing politics. They know about the
Mm.
elections. And they know that, they've seen me on TV here and other things. So they know I'm doing something important. But the main thing I'll just say is, like, I hope people see I'm doing it for my kids. This is about them. I'm worried about what kind of future they're going to grow up in. And I want to do everything I can to be able to support my family and support other families through these incredibly difficult times. So, it's a lot of stress on my family. It's a lot of stress on my wife and my family, and it takes me away from my kids a lot. I don't get to see them as much as I would like, but this is important, and I'm going to give this everything I got. This is the biggest race of my life, the biggest election of my career. I'm going to give it everything I got and do my best to be able to win this thing. And I hope that my kids understand it, and I hope to make them proud. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.